Benton County Commission is now in session. Roseanne Ward, Chair.
Commissioner Frazier, would you give our invocation, please?
Please, thank you. Bow with me. Most gracious Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight, Lord, to do the county's business. Lord, we ask that you be with each one of our citizens. We ask that you be with all of our governments, and that we do the county's business with the way that you would see fit. These things I ask in your Son's precious name. Amen.
Amen.
Commissioner Furr, would you lead us with the
I
pledge of
will.
allegiance?
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Madam Clerk.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's good now.
Have you announced the quorum? Roll call? That's okay. Yeah. Okay, we do have a quorum. So next on the agenda is the appointment of the 6th District Commissioner. How many do we have here tonight that is vying for that district? Okay. We have 3. Would you gentlemen mind coming forward and introducing yourself to the commissioners?
You need this.
Right there's a podium, please.
Okay.
Okay. Mr. King, would you like to go first?
Why not?
Okay.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Terry Keene. I'm from Big Sandy. Been a resident down there since about 1969. Graduated high school. I'm retired out of the military, 36 years. Iraq and Afghanistan veteran. I was on the commission back in the 90s. I served in the 12th district and then in the 11th district. I served on a law enforcement committee, on the highway committee. I was served on the 911 board. Currently, I volunteer and teach volunteer firemen in Big Sandy Volunteer Fire Department. This last class, we had some from Springville and Chalk Level and Eva, and so it's getting full every time we have a class. I like to give back to the community because I think that's important. The community's been good to me. I have a master's degree in business. I know numbers. I know budgets and stuff, and have managed several $1 million in the military. So I appreciate your vote. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. King.
I'm Truman Pfeiffer. I lived at Big Sandy the last years of my life. And I just would like to be the commissioner for the 12th district. Maybe I can help them out somewhere.
Thank you, Mr. Pfeiffer.
My name's Robert Burcham. Lived in Big Sandy for the past 10 years. I moved over from across the river, Houston County. And I love the community. I love everything about Benton County. And I just want to provide a service for our county and try to make our county better.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Burcham. Does anyone have any questions that you would like to ask any of those three gentlemen? If not, then we're going to have a roll call, and when your name is called out, pronounce the full name of the person that you're voting for. Is that?
I'm trying to figure out how to put it on the computer.
Okay. And then go back and do that, add that later. Yeah. So you're gonna call each name out? Okay. Okay, so she's going to call your name out because it's not in our computer software right now to be able to make this appointment, so.
Roseanne, are we gonna see the three names on the board up there? Can you call them out again?
Okay. Terry King.
Say that again?
Terry King,
Okay.
Truman Pfeiffer, and Robert Burcham.
Robert.
Burcham. The clerk is going to call your name, and when she does, please pronounce the full name of the person that you're voting for tonight. And they're going to keep record of it over here. Okay, are you ready? Okay, roll call, please.
Rochelle Hill,
Terry King.
Mike Nunnery,
Terry King.
Roseanne Ward,
Terry King.
Darrell Hicks,
Terry King.
Ronnie Hopper,
Terry King.
Angie Hearn,
Truman Pfeiffer.
Don Patton,
Aaron Pfeiffer.
Ward Plant,
Truman Pfeiffer.
Dana Ferguson,
Terry King.
Kenneth Miller,
Truman Pfeiffer.
Rocky Preston,
I'd like to say to the two that don't win tonight, please stay interested. I'd much rather be elected by the citizens of this body than to be elected this way tonight. That being said, my vote goes for Robert Burcham. Hang in there, Hammer.
Alea Dye,
Truman Pfeiffer.
Norman Frazier,
Terry King.
Gary Fur,
Robert Burcham.
Dwayne Fowler,
Terry King.
Sonny Paul,
Terry King.
Bill Melton.
Terry King.
Anyone wish to change their vote?
One, I do. I want to change my vote to Truman Pfeiffer.
I have 10 for Terry King, 6 for Truman Pfeiffer, and 1 for Robert Burcham. Okay, Terry King.
Okay. Mr. King, you have been elected as a 6th District Commissioner. And I'd like to say I want to thank Mr. Pfeiffer and Mr. Burcham for coming up and being interested also. So at this time, Mr. King, will you come forward? We're going to swear you in. So that we can swear you in so that you can be a part of this meeting tonight.
Just stand by for 1 second. We're making you official.
Oh,
Our system does not like this particular method of voting.
We have a photo.
With office for Benton County, I, Terry King,
I, Terry King,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
or affirm that I will perform
or affirm that I will perform
with fidelity
with fidelity
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
to which I have been
to
elected,
which I have been elected,
which I'm about to assume,
that I'm about to assume,
and that I will uphold the Constitution
and that I will uphold the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and of the states of Tennessee,
and of the state of Tennessee.
so help me God.
So help me God. Thank you. Okay.
Okay. Next on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. But we have a typo in our numbers, so we're going to have to change those. So we're going to number 5, which is the first one there, that's going to stay number 5, and then therefore, from then on, we're going to go up one number. So if you want to mark off your numbers so that they will reflect the right one when I call it out on the agenda. Yeah. We need a motion to make that amendment to this agenda.
Motion.
Motion by
Second.
Mr. Fraser and second by Commissioner Hill. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay, so that was for the adjustment on the agenda.
Yes.
So leave this one as, a motion for number change. All I know is number change. Okay, so now we're ready for agenda approval. Yeah, that's the second. Then we're ready for as amended.
Okay, now we're going to approve this agenda as we amended it. Do we have a motion?
By John and Ken.
Okay.
Wait a minute, what'd you say?
We're approving the agenda as we amended it, which was changing the numbers on the,
Oh. Yeah, this was as
okay.
amended.
Everybody understands what we're voting for now? Are you ready? Okay. All in favor of the agenda as we amended it, say aye.
Aye. It's them to use their tablets.
Okay. Okay, that means vote on your tablet. We'll get there in that already. There's a lot of different things going on tonight.
Gary first, you have voted. It carries.
Okay, that motion carries. Now we're moving on to the Citizens Forum. First on the list is Anthony Beal.
First of all, let's say good evening, everybody. My agenda for tonight is to talk about the raise my boss, Mr. Christopher, is trying to give for all of us over here at Benton County Jail. I just want you to all know, we run short as it is right now. Sometimes some shifts are, there's only 2 to 3 people on shift. And it's a very dangerous job. I just want you all to know. Mr. Christopher has no idea that we all showed up here. We're here just to represent our boss and we've had his back. I've been a citizen of this county for about 15 years now. And I've been working for the Sheriff's Department quite a while now. And it's a fine organization, but it's hard when you don't have people who will apply because they can go to surrounding counties and make twice the amount of money they make here. And we put our lives on the line every day, whether you want to think about it or not. And I don't think that's too much to ask. When do you stop putting a price on public safety? I just thank you all, and I hope you can vote on this soon. because somebody's gonna get hurt, and you're gonna lose more guards over. They're starting to go leave because they can go to other counties and make more money. I thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Bill. Autumn Ratliff.
Good evening, everyone. Autumn Ratliff, Mayor of Big Sandy, Tennessee. I'm here on behalf to just ask for assistance. We have a huge sewer grant. I'm not sure if you know about it already. When I first took office in November, I was slapped with a show cause meeting in Nashville. Our sewer is not up to par. Several things add up to that. More people moving into our city, therefore more sewer. Our sewer was rebuilt in the 1970s. Of course, wear and tear over time. We used the best technology we could, which is like like clay pipes, 4 feet long with joints, and over time, more people, more sewer, more rainwater coming in, and we are really struggling to fix this sewer issue. We have applied for several grants. Mayor Lashley asked me to come and speak to you guys just for any and all support. We'll really, really, truly appreciate it. It's something we have to get done, and we're trying. We have grants in the works, but it's a very costly problem, you know, almost $5 million bucks. And as you know, Big Sandy has 504 people, so that's kind of a very tough job to do. So any and all support that you can give us whenever you can, we will greatly appreciate it. We have a certain time limit to get this finished. It was 5 years. I will let everybody know that I am not running again. Politics are fun. It's very stressful. So hopefully the next mayor, whoever that may be, will handle this. But I'm here now, and so I want to try to ask for any help. Thank you. Any questions?
Autumn, how much have you got left on your term? How much time?
15 months. I think.
Till November of next year, I guess.
Too many months.
Okay.
People are not nice.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I don't think there's anyone on the entire county commission that does not want to assist Big Sandy with this. You are part of our county regardless if you have your own city limits. So I think you will find all the support you need among the members of this commission.
I really appreciate that. You know, for so long, we've kind of been like, it's nice to feel together once again. So I really, truly appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Autumn.
I do have a question. Looking at the resolution that's coming up for $500,000, do you have specifics on what that $500,000 is going to do?
Well, the money that we just got awarded through a grant, layman's terms, you know, they like to use big terms. I'll just break it down for us. That money that we just won is the camera system that would go through our pipes and show us exactly where the most water is coming in. So we just won that. The what was it, 500,000, will start to go towards our actually getting the pipe, getting the construction going, and fixing that. Because a lot of the stuff that we have already won is the stuff prior that we have to do before we actually start going under the ground, cutting up the roads and putting the sewer lines in.
So you don't have a specific dollar amount that each thing's going to cost?
No, because we work with Benton and Hunter Heathcote, our engineers that you guys do too. And they lay it out, you know, we needed $250,000 for the camera system, and then we needed $150,000 for the smoke test. So we have all our testing almost completed. Now we're just getting the money to actually go in and get the pipes and tear up the roads and fix the roads after we lay them down, or lay them in.
I'll add, Commissioner King, they are actually under an order by the state of Tennessee. This isn't one of the, like a discretionary improvement. They have a failing system and an age system that the state has pretty much said, y'all have to fix it.
And we're not alone. Several small towns are going through the same thing we are.
So the total cost is going to be, it wouldn't surprise me if they came up with nearly a $2 million overall price tag, because it's multiple projects all rolled into one large project, so to speak. And so this is basically a financial contribution where we can help, you know, and whether they can leverage some of this against another grant, maybe put it towards their match. You know, they don't have a lot of options. So ultimately, the city of Big Sandy's got some tough financial choices ahead, and this is really, to be honest with you, it's not enough. But from what me being the chief financial officer have been able to project, this is an excellent opportunity to be able to help them with these funds, and that's exactly what they're used for: utilities, infrastructure upgrades, improvements, and so. But I'm the chief financial officer, so I determined the $500,000 contribution. I wish it could have been $750,000, but you kind of got to pick where you are, and I feel like $500,000 is something we can definitely send their way.
And, you know, I know that this is in time, in the next 40 years, this is going to be an issue again. So our board is working diligently to maybe get a depreciation fund going so we could keep this up, and then we are not in a pickle like we are now.
Is this gonna be enough money to get the job done, or are you gonna get?
Well, we're going to have to, and we might, whatever the engineers want us to do that's better, we might use whatever you guys give us, or if you can give us any, you know, whatever we get, we might use for a match to get extra money, and then hopefully that will eventually cover it. I mean, our engineers, they work with us really closely. We're on the phone with them daily, telling us that we need this, I need you to fill this out, I need this turned in. And so we're just really at the mercy of them getting it done, because we've never done this before.
They've got a system that it's a liner that goes into these.
Yeah, we talked about like a sock, it looks like a sock and it covers it. But I think there's so many, you guys know Oak Street, up there at the Rock House, in the corner by the Pentecostal Church, the road is so bad right there, that's because our sewer line is touching the other side. I mean, it's just over time, if you know we're in that flood zone, and that rain just keeps going in there, so.
Autumn?
Yes.
How many miles or feet are having to be replaced?
Several, and it's a lot of downtown and outside. Don't know the exact number. After we gotta wait for the smoke test and the other test to go through. But it's some in this like downtown area, but then it's mostly like the roads leading outside of the city limits. Like Oak Street, it's in the city limits, it's downtown, but it's not directly downtown.
Thank you.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you, Autumn. Commissioner Fowler, would you like to say
This
something?
is just for Brett. It says this donation money, where is this coming from, our budget, or where's this money coming from?
It's from the federal grant money that we'll be receiving.
The American Rescue Plan?
Yeah.
Have they said where we can give this money to them? Have they put it in writing, or are they still determining?
Well, they're still determining, but utility infrastructure is going to be one of the criteria that they allow, and this will actually be a sub-grant to a city. But again, they're looking at multi approaches to fixing their problem.
Have they put a guideline out on where it can go yet, or not?
There is a preliminary guideline. Congress still has to pass the final version.
Also, we really don't know where to spend the money yet, right?
Well, we have criteria, public safety, utilities being those. So they're already written into the bill, and they will be part of that particular plan when it's passed. And I was going to talk about this. What we're committing to is basically a verbal commitment. This is a non-binding resolution, just like we did with the maintenance of effort for the schools when we brought that up 2 months ago. Was it 2 months ago or 3 months ago? March. That was a non-binding resolution. You can't commit those monies of maintenance of effort when you don't know the actual dollar is going to be there. So this is really us just saying we want to help. We want to help. We want to help Big Sandy. You know, and
the money, then we want to help.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure it wasn't something that, you know, it's really banking on.
This is
Something that could, you wouldn't want to do.
Any other questions? Okay, next is, on the citizens forum is Mary Powers.
I don't need to speak now.
Okay, thank you, Mary. Okay. Next is the commissioners forum. Do we have a commissioner? Commissioner Preston.
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman, I know we got a lot of business, I'll make it quick. A subject that I found very interesting, I want to share with everybody. I don't think that I'm big enough to remedy it. I hope that we can get the mayor or the next mayor, or we can get Donna Barrett, or we can get somebody on board to take this a little further. Excuse me. The information I'm sharing with y'all comes from a report of the Tennessee Advisory Commission on Intergovernmental Relations, TASER, T-A-C-I-R. I'm probably going to refer to it by TASER going forward. It's a Tennessee Valley Authority Payment in lieu of Taxes annual report. I remind everybody, TVA gives a large sum of money to Tennessee, in and around $350 billion a year. That money is titled in lieu of taxes. It's not property taxes. The state General Assembly has created an allocation formula that decides how this money is distributed, is allocated to the cities, the counties, and the state government. Moving forward, finding on page 34 and 35 of this report, the 2018-19 year, the 2019 and 20 year, every county in Tennessee received a raise, an increase. It was $4 million subsidized to the 95 counties, and it was determined what each county got. 9 counties from Tennessee got an increase of 5% or more. 8 counties got an increase of 4% or more. 62 counties got an increase of 3% to 3.9. 11 counties got an increase of 2% to 2.9. 5 counties got an increase lower than 2%. Guess what? Benton County is one of those counties. 2 counties in the state of Tennessee that have got a smaller percent increase than us. And I'm going to give you a little comparison. Benton County received $33,500. Henry County and these other 5 or 6 counties I'm going to mention, they're all in comparison to what the TVA or the state gives Benton County each year. Henry County, their increase was $98,000. Williamson County, $76,000. Sumner, $51,000. Monroe, $64,500. Montgomery, $63,000. Humphreys, our neighbor, a little over $39,000. Cliff Leopard, he is the executive director of TASER. He was confronted with an email. Cliff, seen on page 35 and 36, all Tennessee counties receiving an increase in dollars in the 2019-20 year. I'm also seeing that only 2 counties in Tennessee received a smaller increase than Benton County. Can you provide me with a formula of factors that decide what dollar amount each county received in the 2019-20 year? His response. This is from a gentleman that works under Mr. Cliff. TVA is responsible each year for providing the Department of Revenue with the TVA acreage data. And between 2019 and 2020, those acreage numbers changed. This is what's really interesting. This gentleman is telling us that TVA acreage in Benton County changed. TVA acreage data. The TVA acreage component was lower for Benton County in 2020. The county share of the total pilot got smaller. I'm going to remind everybody there's 26,400 acres of lake that we're not being paid for, and last count I had it was about 16,000 acres of land that we are being paid for. Land is one of the 3 biggest formulas that they use to decide this money. That being said, there have been a few more emails. They have asked to go to TVA. They've asked me to go to Amanda McGraw with the Department of Revenue, and she told me a long time ago, quit calling her when we were involved in excise tax. So that being said, that's all I've got. I'm going to sit down. I just want to share that with y'all. It's very interesting to me. I hope it's interesting to y'all, and I hope we can find somebody interested in getting some answers. I don't know of any TVA acres changing in this county. I yield the floor, Shirley.
Would the commission approve me asking Rocky a question? Does anybody oppose? Rocky, this came up a few years ago. Did you not write letters to TVA about this, to ask them to re-measure this for us?
The subject you're talking about was the lake acreage. The 26,400, Benton County has the largest lake acreage of any county in Tennessee. This is a little bit different. This is talking about the acreage that they do include in the formula.
Okay, thank you. I think that the mayor wants to comment on
No,
that.
I mean, I'll speak on when I get up to speak.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other commissioner? Okay, we're gonna move right on down to the line item 5, which is the county mayor, our attorney, finance advisor, guest speakers. Tonight, we do have a guest speaker here that the sheriff has invited. We'll get to that later. I think the mayor wants to speak first.
I'll go ahead and let the sheriff speak first. I'll go after them.
Okay, Sheriff, you're recognized.
Thank you. Commissioners, try not to take up much of your time, but we've got something I want to make to the entire commission. I met with budget, and I met with law enforcement, and I've explained to them the problems that I've got. First off, I guess I want to thank my support group over here. I didn't know it was coming tonight, but I do appreciate them being here tonight and supporting what I'm trying to do. I want you to understand that asking for raises for the sheriff's department, that's not for me. Okay, I'm on salary, so it's not for me. What I'm trying to do is get us on equal playing field with the other counties. And for a long, long time, we've been underpaid for the rest of the counties. And we waste a whole lot of money getting people, training them, and then they leave and go to other counties. A lot of money. I've got the figures broke down that I've presented to budget and to law enforcement, and we're in a serious bind with the sheriff's department. This has gotten worse and worse, and the other counties sit back and wait for us to train people, get seasoned officers in here, and then they take them away from us because they pay a couple of dollars more an hour. And we spend a lot more than that. Just getting the rookie off the street, bring him in here, send him, get him trained, and then put him out. We pay him for the rookie mistakes, which causes us different problems all throughout. And when I'm speaking of this, I'm speaking of the COs, our correctional officers, and I'm speaking of the deputies. We've got a safety issue is what we've got, and we can't keep people here. This is a safety issue. It's for safety issues for the deputies, it's a safety issues for the COs, for the inmates, and for every citizen in Benton County. I've got people out here that right now we're in such a situation that I don't have enough correctional officers. This jail has to operate. It's the county's obligation to operate the jail. The state tells you how many people you're required to have on the floor at any given time to make sure the medications, everything's kept under control, fire watches, everything that has to be done. Benton County is not an exception to what the state regulations are. We may think we are, but we're not. Everybody else follows the rules, and we have to too. When something happens out here, and that 911 line rings or you call, no matter what the problem is, it's something that you can't deal with, and they get paid to deal with it. And we're almost to the point where when that 911 line rings, nobody's coming. We're down to just a very few deputies. The COs are down so low in the jail, I'm having to take my deputies off the street, which we're already short, take them off, and put some of them in the jail. And they're not certified to work in there, but that's who I'm having just to have a warm body in there. That makes us shorter on the street to take care of it. If you think these people are stealing your tractors and your cars and everything else out here don't know that, well, they do. They know what's going on. The people that's in jail back there are acting up and giving problems because they know we don't have enough staff and we don't have enough trained staff. When time comes this year for us to do our recertification of our jail, every year that I've been in, I've been your sheriff for 7 years now, and I'm proud to be, and I love this county. But we're not paying attention with what we're doing. This has to be taken care of. When they come in and they certify our jail, that says that we're up to par where we need to be, okay? We're constantly losing people. And when that jail inspector come in, one of the questions he asked me was, how many officers do you have working in the jail that have less than 1 year's experience? I said, I've got 16. He said, totally unacceptable. Totally. Why? I showed him our pay scale, and he said, that answered my question. That's all I needed to know. Our people are not making a whole lot more money than what you can make out here flipping burgers somewhere. And these are professional people. These are people that care. They pass out people's meds, they learn to do CPR, they take their training. These are certified people. These are not Joe Blow that might dig a ditch for you out here on Saturday to make some beer drinking money. These are professional people. They're out there at 2 o'clock in the morning when we're all asleep chasing the bad guys through your backyard. These are the guys back here in the jail that they're dealing with a heart attack or a fight back here in the jail, and we're not taking care of them and we're losing them. And I'll tell you right now, I love every one of them that work down there, and I love every one of them particularly that sticks with Benton County because they know they can go other places and make more money. And after a while, you gotta say, I gotta take care of my family. Well, that's what they're doing, and they're leaving. And if we lose just a few more people, we're gonna wind up with our jail back there where we have no choice but to go back there and say, we're gonna start housing these people somewhere else because we can't keep up with them. If the COVID hadn't hit last year, we're normally running around 120 to 130, 140 inmates at any given time. Right now, we're about 70. So fortunately, we're low. And we have a very low number of state inmates now because as people have gone out during COVID and everything, they've left. So we're fortunate that the numbers are low because we don't have the manpower to take care of it, and we're not getting the manpower. Civil Service gave a test this last Saturday, and they only had 2 apply for a personal officer. Only 2. Why? They'll tell you the same thing I'm telling you, because we don't pay what the other counties pay.
Sheriff Christopher, I'm sorry to interrupt, but you've gone over the 5 minutes quite a bit. Is there anything that you want to close with before you move on? Because we're going to watch this.
Yes, ma'am. I didn't know apply to like the commissioners and everybody that spoke. I thought it was just citizens forum.
Well, but we've got this to watch, and then you've got your other guests. So
okay. Can I give 1 minute to close?
You sure can.
I'm sorry, I haven't even started to touch on what we need to hear, but we've got to fix this problem. We've got to fix it now. What I'm asking for tonight is, will y'all look at this before you vote on budget tonight? I'll give the numbers of what we need to keep us even, not above, but even with the surrounding counties, and give us where we can keep our officers. What I have here, and I'll say this because we have some young people in the audience, this is what was on Channel 5 News a week ago. It's about a 3-minute clip, but it's very important that you watch it and listen to what's said on it. This happened in Marshall County, Kentucky, but also you'll see our neighboring county in Decatur County, Sheriff Byrd on there with the attorney that he used when he sued the county in Decatur County to get raises for his people. The situation is exactly what we have here, but I want to say some of this is a little bit graphic. It only lasts a few seconds, but I want to let y'all know that before the young people in here sing. If we can play that, I would appreciate it. And then I'd like for Mr. Bass, that I've invited from TCI, that's Tennessee Correctional Institute. I think he has some facts and figures for y'all. Anybody wants to see me afterward, I'll be more than happy to show you the figures that we've got so that everybody knows exactly what I'm dealing with. But I didn't even get started for the situation we're in.
And inside the Marshall County Jail is raising questions about training and pay for jailers. News Channel 5 Investigates obtained exclusive video showing officers on the back of a man who begged for his breath. Investigative reporter Ben Hall continues to examine this story.
Starting salary for jailers here in Marshall County is $14.46 an hour. In some small counties, it's considerably less, prompting some sheriffs to take drastic action.
I didn't want to sue the county, but I didn't feel like I had any choice.
Decatur County Sheriff Keith Byrd was so fed up with the low pay for his deputies and jailers that he sued his own county. The small county in West Tennessee had denied raises for years.
It was very difficult to hire people and even harder to retain people.
2 years ago, before his lawsuit, Decatur County jailers were paid less than $10 an hour. Some were on food stamps. Jailers, who often deal with mentally ill or substance-addicted inmates, made less than fast food workers.
The kids at McDonald's were making nearly $12. Jailers were turning over so fast, it got to the point I didn't know who worked for me.
When the only people you could pick from to hire are the ones that McDonald's would not hire. You're not going to get the folks you want, you're not going to get the results you need.
Attorney Ray Aaron represented the sheriff, and he represented the sheriff in nearby Hardeman County in a similar lawsuit for more pay for his officers.
I think the folks in rural counties right now are hurting desperately.
When Aaron saw the video from Marshall County, he immediately thought about training. William Jeanette had been hallucinating and detoxing. He'd been arrested 2 days earlier and refused to get into a restraint chair.
Don't get your leg restraints. If you do anything else, get leg restraints.
Officers subdued him but kept him handcuffed on his stomach and even restrained his legs, keeping him in a position that can lead to suffocation.
Easy, easy. Camera, sticks and six. Do Jason, guys. That's why I'm not on his lungs. Ain't breathe good.
One officer warned it was dangerous, but then incorrectly claimed it's okay to keep him on his stomach if they stay off his lungs.
When I saw the video and I heard the fellow say, be careful, we'll suffocate him, and then they did suffocate him, I thought, it's not malice, it's incompetence.
Aaron said many smaller counties have incredibly high turnover for jailers because it's a tough job with low pay. Marshall County says it does not keep records on turnover for jailers. Its starting pay is higher than Decatur at more than $14 an hour.
If you have constant turnover, you're not going to have the competence, the experience, the expertise you need to do terribly difficult jobs.
I felt like I was backed into a corner. I had to do something.
Decatur County settled the sheriff's lawsuit last year, meaning it agreed to pay deputies and jailers more. Starting pay for jailers now is up to nearly $14 an hour.
Our quality and quantity of applicants has gotten lots better because my folks make a decent salary now.
Sheriff Byrd said he has not seen the Marshall County video, but he knows many small counties worry about low pay for jailers and deputies. He said how to sue your county was talked about at the last Sheriff's Association meeting.
They had a seminar on how to do it. That's how bad it's gotten.
The grand jury in Marshall County looked at the case and did not file criminal charges against any of the officers. Marshall County and Lewisburg now face a civil lawsuit over Jeanette's death. Ben Hall, News Channel 5, investigating.
Do you want to introduce Mr.
Yes,
Bass?
ma'am. Mr. Bob asked us with Tennessee Correction Institute, and I asked him to come down from Nashville tonight and speak with us to kind of put everybody, kind of let you know what's going on and what we have to do in order to keep our jails safe.
Madam Chairman, Honorable Mayor, County Commissioners, thank you for this opportunity to let me speak tonight. I know you have a very busy schedule, a lot to unpack, so I'm not going to stay long. My job and my mission here tonight is just to let you know the facts about what TCI does and what kind of predicament the sheriff's in and the county. I'm assuming this is the county mayor's, your county attorney sitting over here. Where is he? All right. Why do y'all always put him in the right side of the room in a corner, or her? It's that way every county commission I go to. I'm glad you're here. I only speak the truth because that's the way my dad taught me. And he taught me about 36 miles from here. And the Moody family that had the liquor stable in Big Sandy is my family. Born and raised in Paris, Tennessee, so I spent a lot of time over at Camden. It's great to be here tonight, and I live in Henderson. They can't pay you enough to have me live in Nashville. I would drive over here. I live in Henderson, Tennessee. Hey, TCI, we're the agency that comes and inspects the jail. It's unannounced. We don't tell you we're coming. We just show up on the door and jail administrators have a heart attack. That's the law. That's the way the Tennessee Code is set up. And there are 431 standards that you have to operate a jail by. One of those standards is staffing. Wouldn't you know it, right? 1401-07, by the way, these are all codified to the rules. Facilities shall have sufficient staff, including a designated supervisor, to provide at all times the performance of functions relating to the security, custody, and supervision of inmates as needed to operate the facility in conformance with the standards. As a former jail administrator, when I saw the trouble you were in, when I visited the jail last week, hey, listen, I can appreciate it. I really can. And you know, while I was there, a lady resigned. So you're missing 11 officers. And for one of your staff to say, if they end up here and say there's only maybe 2 people working a shift at night, scares me to death, because you can't liberate that jail with 2 people. That ain't gonna happen. Someone's gonna get hurt, it's gonna be pandemonium. We don't tell you who to hire, how to pay them, but we offer our expertise in that. If you want to hear what we've got to say, we'll be happy to come work with you, and I'll mention that a little bit later. I want to close by offering this now. So what's going on right now is jeopardy. So we're looking at a 1983 civil action lawsuit of civil rights get violated. I'm an expert witness. I spent a lot of time in court, unfortunately, sometimes for the plaintiff, like the one you just heard up there. Now, the part you didn't hear on that speech up there that just made that little newsreel, they're going to sue you. You want to go down there and work in jail for $10 an hour, whether puking on you, throwing feces on you. They have STDs, sticking you with needles, fighting. Yeah, I don't have it. But I didn't. I was a correction officer. I got 30 years in the business. Tough business. Tough business for our deputies. Mr. King, congratulations. Thank God for our military. Godspeed to our mayor. I know you're about to deploy. And I grew up in that family. My mama met my daddy in the Army because she was in the Army. My mother was white World War II. She's an Army veteran. I've lost them both. What needs to happen is some real soul searching here and some real strategy planning. And there are people you can come to and talk to us about that. Now, that can't fix what decision you've got to make tonight. You have to vote your own conscience. You have to vote your own conscience. I'm not here on behalf of the sheriff persuading you to do that. I'm on behalf of the citizens, these folks sitting out the galley back here. Because what's going to happen is this jeopardy game you're playing. That jail fills up with smoke tonight. There's 2 or 3 people down there. We're going to get them help. I'm sure you are, Sheriff. We're going to wake people up. Let's go down there and help. We're going to call for it. People are going to die. It's going to happen. In the lawsuit, it's going to have the county commission name on it. It's going to have the county name on it. Shelby County went through something somewhat tragic. Young man brought to jail, put in a bullpen. I worked on that 11 years in the federal court system, and it cost them $1 billion, according to the chief financial officer. I didn't say million, I said billion. If that happens and you end up in federal court, you don't have the proper staff, the judge will make that decision. And I don't think he needs to be doing it. I see capable folks right here tonight that can make that decision because it's the right thing to do. Money, I used to farm. If I paid a boy $2 more an hour to haul hay, he didn't haul more hay than the boy I was paying $1. He just got more money. This is a complex problem, and it's really complicated by the simple fact that you're not going to attract quality folks, people that want to dedicate their lives to this business, maybe move up to be a deputy someday. You have to find what the core issue is and look at it. Now, I'm from the class this way. I don't come in your house and tell you you got a problem unless I got a solution. I don't like people coming in my office and saying, we got a problem. I'm okay, how you gonna fix it? Let's do this. Just tell me, give me the word. You won't be holding discretionary inmates anymore. I'll fix that tomorrow morning. I'll make a phone call. I work with TDOC. We'll stop. What did you get last year? 400 grand?
Yes.
Yeah, we stop that tomorrow morning. That just would. Why would you keep discretionary inmates when you don't have the staff to take care of them? Then we'll try to reclassify the jail and maybe move some of those people back around and put them a little more condensed if we can without violating TCI standards. Yeah, I don't know if that's a great idea, but it's something you have to kind of mull over. There is another option. And I want to talk to you, Madam Chairman, about this at another meeting. It's called a County Correction Partnership. I started that throughout the state. It's an initiative, it's a voluntary initiative where counties come together. They give me a committee to work with. A little different than a criminal justice committee. A committee where there's a DA on it, a public defender, maybe a judge. I've got 32 of those that have been working throughout the state. And they've addressed the problems. If it was extending a jail or adding on or building a new jail or whatever. So what I do is, from an educational-based process, show those members so they can come back and report to the full commission all the things we're talking about up here. Y'all don't talk our language. You're not supposed to. I mean, my hat's off to the county commissioner and that report you read from.
Yes, sir.
They do corrections reports too. You can go back and find a lot that I use them a lot for references. It's a good organization. Very good organization. So, I'm here to answer your questions. If you've got a question about that jail and this process and what it means, I want to open the floor and let you do that. If it's all right, Madam Chairman, do as it could. But let me add this. We come into that jail 2021 because you've already been inspected for this year. You were down 5 officers. Our inspector questioned that. He looked at that, he raised his eyebrow. But he said, I want to use a little discretion. Things are tough right now with this COVID. Overall population throughout the state of Tennessee today is at 68% in our jails. That doesn't mean I don't have jails that aren't overcrowded. I have jails that are double capacity. I have a 305-bed jail right now with 600 people. I have several of those. But overall, it's down. It jumped within the last 9 days, 500 inmates. Courts are opening back up. All those lieu of arrests that we did out there on the street to say, there's COVID in the jail, don't come to here, sign this, show up, court. They didn't show up. I talked to the sheriff last week, has 350 of those warrants laying on his desk. It's going to be back up, Sheriff, to that 140 number you were talking about, if not worse. We don't know what it's going to look like. I'm not going to predict that. No correctional professional will do that. But it's coming back now. Let's say 3 months down the road, we still have this problem. You've got 3 folks working a shift. Your own staffing analysis that you had done by CTASC when you opened that facility said 7 people a shift. You actually been operating 6. Your own staffing analysis the day it opened. And you had 3. So my job is to let you know it's in jeopardy and you got problems. I wish I had all the answers. But I know in my experience, looking at this pay, every surrounding county that touches you, their starting pay is your top out pay. The top out pay being starting at Stewart County starts at $11. I work every jail. I've been in every jail in the state except 2. I work all 95 counties, so I can tell you more stories all night. But it's time to take questions. Surely somebody's got a question.
I do. You were saying something about having a committee that can help with this? Is that what? how do we go about doing that? And
Sure.
exactly how is it going to help?
That is absolutely a great question. Your chairman appoints the committee. Committee doesn't have to be all county commissioners. You may be somebody from the public. Then I go about educating that committee to those jail operations. I want you, your commissioner, or whoever's on that committee, to be as informed about the jail as the people that work there. That's how it helps. And then we do strategy planning. We go, what the issue is, we identify it, we list it, we build master plans. So that's your tax dollar, doesn't cost you anything. I'll say that if we need to bring in a specialist on budgeting, I can get that done for you. All I gotta do is push a button. I've actually, because I have so many people in the system, I've actually got beds donated, doors done. I had electricians come in, do 3 days of work in the Middle Tennessee jail. It didn't cost the county anything, another county paid for it. So we're all kind of in this together. We want to help. So it's called the County Correction Partnership. There are criminal justice committees and there are law enforcement committees. They don't operate like this. We ask the judges to come to hear our problems. Well, a lot of times our problems are overcrowded. We don't have that right now. COVID had that effect, but I'm here to say tonight that's about to change. Yes, ma'am, they're going to come back. It's sad, isn't it?
Yeah,
It really is. Good question. Thank you for that.
I think we need it.
Any other questions? Mr. Bass? Okay, Commissioner Nunnery?
What is the average pay and difference in what the average is and what we pay?
Well, I can say, look at yours. It's way lower than the counties that are touching you. So when you have somebody quit here and go to work in Humphreys County because it's $2 or $3 more, and that the day I was there visiting, that happened. Turned in a notice to go over there. Now look, listen, let's be realistic here. This isn't Shelby County, right? Come on now. Where a captain makes about $98,000 a year. Sergeants make about $65,000 a year. So this is not in Memphis, right? I turned down $130,000 a year just to manage a jail just recently. I've had enough of that, Mayor. I'm not going to do it again, right?
Sir,
I work 18 hours a day now. I don't want to work 24.
how do we compare to Decatur County? I thought we were on really pretty even playing ground with them.
Is that what we're proposing tonight, Mr. Bass, or is that just in the past?
What was that?
Is it what we're proposing tonight, or is it previous?
What you're proposing tonight? I don't have the number.
Okay.
I don't have that number.
Okay.
What county again was it? Decatur?
Decatur.
Starting pay is $13.98 an hour.
Where's it here?
1102. Oh, I'm sorry, 10.
That's the part-time. 1102 is
1102, yes, 1102. I'm not in favor of part-time.
I don't have 1102 on what you gave us.
We have 2 jailers right now who are not certified and they make $12.27 an hour.
Yeah,
And then with the
12.27.
raise that's being proposed, that's 80 cents an hour. I think that you only have 2 who are uncertified.
So with the 80 cents an hour, we'll be making over 13.
How much does it go with?
And they're the
get
2
certified?
lowest paid who are uncertified at $12.20 something an hour.
And we gave everybody a 10% raise last year.
Supposedly.
Supposedly. No, we voted on 10%.
they only got that.
Well, they should have got
Commissioners?
10. What you do-
Y'all are gonna have to unpack that. Thank you, Madam Chairman. I have no say in that,
That's
so I'll let y'all do that. But listen, thank y'all for letting me come speak. I'll let my cards over here. If anybody wants to contact me later, and Godspeed to you on your deployment. Come back to us safe. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you,
Good
Mr.
luck.
Bass.
We'll speak to y'all from the floor. I would like to say I have to keep this quick, but after what all we've heard, I've got a lot to say. Before I get to what I consider the grand moment of honoring the Branch family and the Branch, I want to just speak on some things that we've heard. First of all, let's talk about the raises, the Sheriff's Department, the jailers. We began working on this issue about 3 years ago, and Commissioner Hill and I, we sat down and we had spreadsheets, and we were using the previous year's data, but we spread it all out. And part of that analysis was basically to tell us where we were compared to the area counties and like municipalities, whatever, our competitors, basically. What we found was, the law enforcement side, the sheriffs, wasn't as big a discrepancy as the jail. The jail had a tremendous discrepancy in the pay. We knew we had a problem with our salaries at that time, but we knew it would take at least a 16% adjustment just to get you to what we call a level playing field with a comparable county. We're never going to pay more than Henry County. We're never going to pay more than probably Carroll County, and they're just larger counties. They have a larger tax base to be able to pull from. They're always going to outcompete us. What you as a legislative body, what your challenge is you can raise salaries tomorrow, but you put pressure on the competitor to raise. So you're always going to get into a catch up. We do this, y'all do that. And I believe that we have taken a very pragmatic approach to this. If I'm not mistaken, this is at least the third raise in the third budget. Now, or is it enough? We can always argue whether we get enough money in our raises. And it's almost human nature. We're never going to feel like we're being paid enough, okay? But I do take exception to we're not doing enough, okay? Now, maybe I'm the bad guy. I kick everybody off, so get in line, right? And the sheriff and I do go, and I like him bringing it. This is a legitimate issue to debate and to discuss and to address over time. But the body has stayed within its means. That's the first thing that people ask us. Stay within your means. Don't get above your means. And for the property taxes that we pay in, that's what you pay from. You're not paid from sales taxes. You're not paid from hotel, motel taxes. You're paid from the property tax. And that's what the challenge that the legislative body has, is to stay within the property tax envelope. Because we got a lot of other people with their hands out saying, hey, they're not being paid enough. So it's not just with jail. It's just not with law enforcement. But we did find the jail has a problem when it comes to getting up to a good level, competitive playing field. I want us to applaud the commission for third raise in 3 budgets. And I think there was even a fourth raise for a few in there. It's a start. It's not enough. But refresh my memory. I don't know in our lifetime if we've ever had 3 consecutive raises for any single department and any single entity within Benton County. So I want you to pat your commissioners on the back. They're trying, okay? They're trying. And we need to quit being adversarial that they're not doing enough or the mayor's office is not doing enough. I think we're the only ones that's done something since I've been mayor for 3 straight budgets. And I always like to give Phil Melton a pat on the back here because he's our budget chairman. And I can tell you, he takes his job seriously. And he works the numbers. But we stay within our means. Because the only other question is, you've got to step up to the table with a cost. And what does that cost? It's a tax increase. That's what it is. Public safety is a bona fide reason to raise taxes. We want to support the sheriff. We want to support our schools. And it's not off the table that this isn't a case where we need to step up and make a hard decision. But at least you stay within your means. And the only way to improve the pay here, you gotta increase that threshold of means now, right? You gotta increase your property tax intake in order to really fix the problem to the level that we all really eventually want to get to. But please don't badmouth the county commission or your county government. 3 straight raises, 3 straight budgets. I think they deserve applause, if anything. But we have to work together to do this, okay? And if it's whether this budget or whether it's the next budget, we're probably going to be faced with a pretty tough decision down the line. And we know what that is. But for the public listening to us, if we have to come to you with a tax increase proposal, don't beat us up for it. One of our objectives when we first started out 3 years ago was to get accuracy in our numbers. So that if we came to the public and we said, hey, we've got to adjust this mean, we've got to raise this level, then we have earned that respect and trust and say, you know what? They did a great job for 3 years, 3 budgets. If they're asking for an increase of that means, that's not beating us up publicly. Because we're coming to you with a justified request. Okay, so that's, I just want to say that the commission has worked hard in trying to get your salaries adjusted, and we're going to get there, and we're going to support our sheriff's department. TVA, great subject. Commissioner President really began bringing this to our attention about 3 years ago. And I dove right into it because I felt like it was a justified thing to begin investigating. We get paid by TVA, but TVA isn't corporate. Okay, TVA gives a big check to the state of Tennessee, and it's based upon electric sales production throughout an annual year. Okay, and 5% of TVA's profits goes to about 7 states, is it, Rocky? All the states within the TVA footprint, every state will get a check. How that money is divvied out goes to a different body. So at first, we kind of went in here thinking maybe TVA is the culprit. They're not. They're living up to their bargain. They're paying based upon electric production. It's not based on acreage what they pay us. What TASER, this board that he talked about, what they distribute to the counties and the cities is based on an acreage factor. How much does Benton County have? We have 40,000 acres. Rocky said 26,000 of it's underwater. We don't really know what they're paying us as far as a total acreage number, but TVA has supplied me the number. We've got 40,000 acres. If it wasn't for LBL, or recreational land mass up in Stewart County, Benton County would be the #1 affected county as far as giving up acreage for this payment. Okay, but Stewart County owns the #1 spot due to the land between the lakes. So the payment does change because sales go up and they go down. They go up and they go down. But for the most part, this payment will continually go up over time as TVA produces power. TASER distributes this out on 3 factors. How much state land that you have, how much federal land that you have, and what is the population of your county. Okay? So when you see our payment going down, it's probably because our population may have decreased. Our federal lands should never decrease, right? I mean, acreage is acreage. You can't get any more or any less. But power lines, things like that, can add or subtract to the total overall acreage, but not to a point where your payment would be adversely affected. Population is normally the culprit. My problem in my investigation of this is that the state board is giving too much weight to population and not enough weight in that factoring to the land that we have given up. That's another fight on another level at another time, and I've got a book about this thick that I'm ready to make a presentation this year. I've spent 3 years getting a presentation ready to take to the state board to be able to get an adjustment in that factor. And all we can do is just be the squeaky wheel of saying those who gave up the most are really getting the least. And when TVA was first formed, They said, we are going to pay you based on land. They never said in the TVA Act that we're going to pay you based on population. So I believe if you were a court arguing this, an attorney, we've got a good case, but at the end of the day, it's left up to a lot of state legislators. So connections to the state legislature and knowing those folks and building relationships goes a long way. So I cannot wait to make that particular argument. Storm ready, got a sign up here for those that can see it. Today we had the National Weather Service in town. They presented Benton County a storm ready designation. They actually did this in January, but this was the first time the National Weather Service could get to us. A lot of people probably don't pay attention to storms. I think the tornado that came through last year, of course, got a lot of people's attention. But before that, our public was telling us we had problems with our storm notifications. That we had areas in our county that were vulnerable, never getting alerts when they needed to get alerts. So the process started almost 3 years ago in Big Sandy, Tennessee, at our first town hall meeting up there. And we had a avid community of what we call storm spotters, and they brought the concern to us that Benton County can do better or should do better based upon where we were and the fact that we really didn't have radar systems that were giving us the notifications that we did. They brought that to us, the community joined with leaders, and we began working on this system. Code Red was one of the first actions that we took. Everybody remember that. Y'all were very vital in that. It was a great move. I think all of y'all are getting Code Red notifications on your phone now. We weren't getting them before. The National Weather Service is issuing more and more alerts as we get severe storms or severe weather. All that's based upon the spotter network that's been created in Benton and surrounding counties, but really originated from Mr. Ben Richardson, who's no stranger to this county commission. Mr. Richard Watt was one of these. But there's a multitude of individuals that take part in our spotter network, and it's growing, and it can get better, and we're going to continue to improve in our notification system because we're still vulnerable. We still don't have a Doppler radar in our backyard. We're very reliant upon these storm spotters, but because of what they have done for our community, Mr. Richard Key, Scott Hill, everyone that's associated with our EMA department, arranging the requirements that we needed to become storm ready, and it's a continuing process. And I think over 3 years we've really come a long way. And today, the National Weather Service drove all the way up here to Memphis to really make sure that they gave us the proper recognition that we do. I think it's a big deal, and I think it's something that y'all were a catalyst of, supporting EMA and supporting the Code Red, and yes, we want to get better. The resolutions, we've got a multitude of them in your packet, but basically the three resolutions committing $500,000 for Big Sandy for their sewer, $500,000 to the North Utility District for water, treated water expansion and upgrades in the south end of the county, and $600,000 to our 7 volunteer fire departments and rescue squads. This is all coming from the ARPA money, and it's basically a verbal commitment. It's not it's a non-binding commitment or resolution, but part of the intent of this is that we need to support these initiatives. You only get this money every so often. In fact, it's just an anomaly that we're getting what you call block grants to be distributed in certain ways, and of course public safety being one of them that fits the volunteer fire departments and rescue squad, and the other being utilities is one of those requirements. So everywhere you find a successful county, you'll find cities who support it, and everywhere you find successful cities, you're going to find counties that support their cities. And one of our largest complaints that we've been hearing for years, at least in Big Sandy, is they don't even know that they exist in the county commission. You know, there seems to have been an adversarial relationship between Big Sandy and the rest of the county, or maybe they just feel that way. But this is an excellent opportunity to show that in their time of need, and they're facing probably a 1.8 to maybe possibly $2.2 million project. that this is one of those opportunities for us to step up to the plate and support our city when they need us. And honestly, it's not enough, but that, you know, we got to use our money prudently and wisely. And this is a fantastic gesture, and we'll make the most of that gesture. Second one being water in the south end of the county. Again, that began, those complaints and concerns began originating from our town hall meetings down in the south end of the county. They are very dependent upon well water, but just like broadband, you know, as we've seen expanded, we need greater treated water areas of coverage in the south end of the county. So $500,000 will be flowed through North Utility. We've met with North Utility. They said that they can't match it, but they probably could come up with $200,000, possibly $300,000 to put in with that pot and upgrade and expand the water lines in the south end of the county. Again, that's quality of life elements. Excellent opportunity for us to show the south end of the county that they're not forgotten either. And when it comes to our volunteer fire departments and our rescue squad, they don't really need justification. We know they are us. They are our communities. And normally when we've tried to help our volunteer fire departments, you know, maybe a tanker truck, a ladder truck, you know, we think big equipment, but goodness, they've got constant needs, breathing apparatuses or other type of apparel that they require to perform their job. And each department is going to get $75,000. And when you're talking what they have to invest in the equipment that they have in these volunteer fire departments, $75,000, I can tell you, doesn't go very far in that line of work. Just like with the sheriff, you know, he can probably have one or two pieces that could cost that particular amount of money. So again, it's an excellent opportunity for us to say, you know what, when we do get the money and it gets budgeted down, we're going to make sure that we dedicate and commit that money to those three. Now, there'll be other things. Y'all look at I'm your chief financial officer. So a lot of times you'll look to your chief financial officer and say, this is where I believe the money is best spent, where we need to address it. But those are definitely three areas that I'm adamantly want to stand firm on and say, I wish it could be more. But this is our opportunity to show these communities that we're there to support when that money comes in. Right? My departure, deployment. I was kind of hoping that, Colonel King, you've been there, and I say Master Sergeant, Fowler, but they're both our commissioners. I love having the veterans, Don Patton and Ward Plant, the other veterans on here, but they know what deployments are like, and you don't always get to pick your window of time. Had the deployment possibly come next year, I'm going to be 60 in October of 2022, so I could have maybe used red tape to get out of that. But in this one, it's basically, I'm projecting it will be a 10, no more than 11-month deployment. I'll report next week, probably boots on the ground in Africa, probably in 2 weeks. My clock will start 9 months in Africa, and I figured about another month of what you call transition time in, transition time out. But you're going to be without a mayor, but you'll have an interim mayor. And we can all argue about what the processes are. There's a lot of them out there. At the end of the day, you need to select a mayor as soon as you can. Okay, you don't ride it out. Every week that you go without a mayor, you're going without chief financial officer decisions, and you're going out without that leader. And if there's ever going to be a lawsuit, I'm thankful that my name won't be on it. If that's the case, maybe they'll put the interim mayor on it. But the point I'm getting at is, y'all got a decision to make. I'm not telling you who to vote for, who to be for, who to be against. I know everyone's got their purposes and their reasons why they want to serve. I do believe I've earned the respect to say, my opinion does or should count. And my opinion is that we've got a lot of projects moving. We've made a lot of progress in the almost 3 years that I've been your mayor. I want you to continue forward movement. So whoever wants to serve you, it's a big deal to me. that they be someone who steps forward and not steps back. Okay? Because I know what we get. Standing still. What they say in the military, standing still, you get left behind, right? So we can't just say life is good and everything's going to be all right. It's forward, forward, forward. Because there's another county, just like competing against the sheriff for his deputies and jailers. There's other counties that ain't waiting on Benton County. They're out there industrially developing and they're moving their counties forward. So every day that we think we can sit on things is every day we step one step back. I want you stepping forward, okay? And you as a county commission, support your interim mayor, you know? Keep it going. You've done a good job. I know you don't get the credit that you deserve. I notice what you do, and we can be adversarial all we want, but at the end of the day, y'all have passed 3 budgets, no tax increase. In fact, the only tax decrease of my life. Correct me, I don't know. I've gone back as far as I can. Benton County's never had a tax increase. Y'all lowered taxes last year 22 cents. I think the only county in the state of Tennessee that did that. We had record revenues. We had property appraisals going up. So if Benton County were a stock, it's a bull, not a bear. Benton County stock is rising, but still, it's only rising to a point that we still have to stay within our means, right? So y'all know what it takes to raise that mean, and we talked about that earlier. Last, and I think the best part of my night is we're honoring someone tonight, and y'all know my style. I believe in the historical record of Benton County, and I believe there's times that things need to go in the historical record. Okay? And when Miss Lydia Rowe Branch passed away, she was an icon of the community. I think every single person in this county was touched by this woman from the north to the south end of the county. And I've got a long course, proclamation, and we could go read this. I probably put you to sleep, right? I'm speaking off the cuff. But this woman was a pioneer. That's the way I've always looked at her. The Amelia Earhart of Benton County, right? I mean, she was a pilot, and I think anything that you saw in her life, whether she was a teacher or whether it be her hobby, just things that she loved doing with her family, she really embraced it at about 110%. And the education community, we've got educators here in the audience. They could speak for days and days, and volumes could be written on this woman. This is not just an ordinary passing in our community. This was a legend, in my opinion, that passed. And I believe we owe her the honor to ensure that this goes down in the annals of Benton County history and that it's written into the record. It's a big deal when a woman like this, who gave all these years to Benton County, her family and her friends, it's a big deal. And I felt like it was worthy of a proclamation unto itself. And it was very eloquently written. All of y'all have a copy of it. I've given one for the record, but I'd like to invite the Branch family, the Lowe family up here to be presented these proclamations. To thank you for your loved ones' contribution to the overall benefit and welfare of Benton County. And she loved Benton County, and we love her, and we love y'all simply because we know how you're connected to her, and she lives on through y'all. And again, I wanted y'all to be here. We've got more family members here in the audience. But to Benton County, Tennessee, on behalf of the legislative body, the mayor's office, we thank you for your loved one's service. We thank you for all that she gave Benton County and to make this a great place to live, work, die. And so I'm just thankful that y'all we're here to accept these proclamations. And if you got anything to say before that?
Sure, we thank the Alta. We appreciate this time to honor her. We'll put this on the wall with some more of her accomplishments. And we'll get this, we'll remember her. And we'll also remember this evening, you found ladies and gentlemen, at the time, thank you for recognition too. And you mentioned earlier about being power. A lot of you may not know that she came real closely on the space shuttle that blew up.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that, she started teaching here in 1954, and she taught, I guess, over 50 years after she finished. She taught started out in Holiday, she started in Big Sandy, and Camden. She's taught all grades, I think, as well as, Bible school, vacation Bible school, and she's touched so many lives, and so many lives that people would think, she would take people into her home. I mean, she was just so loving and kind that, she touched so many generations of people. I think one of her first students was Luke Borchard. That was way back in Holiday. There's just not enough that could be said about what a wonderful and loving and caring and giving person that she was. And she was so humble. She would be embarrassed, I think, almost. I just want to say thank you for so much, for recognizing her.
So let me take one with the phone. You want to do on phone and use?
I don't have one.
You don't have to. Okay, so here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I got one. I got one. All right, everybody, here we go. All right. 1, 2, 3. More. 1, 2, 3. That's one. 3. I know it's
Y'all ready for recess?
Yeah, 5-minute break.
I want to say, any last questions to me?
I do, yeah. Before this committee votes tonight on whether the raise goes through or not, I just want to give you all something to think of. It's bad, and I'm sitting here and watching this. It is with great regret to you, Sheriff, and I honor you, I respect you, that I resigned from the Benton County Jail.
Any other questions? All right, Madam Chairman, I yield.
We're going to take a 5-minute recess.
Comes in.
I'm sorry. The one that runs for 6 districts.
Next one, we're going to have a resolution saying it has to be
Right now, we have We've got a, legal sponsor thing going on in the sheriff's office. It's all going to proceed at veterans law. So, looks like that it's going to be some kind of joke.
My goodness. That's so cute. That's cute. That's a Facebook picture.
Can we get started back? Beaver Dam's going to close in 30 minutes.
Beaver Dam. Yeah. We can have This will be number 6 on the agenda, which is the approval of minutes. Need a motion and a second. We have a motion by Commissioner Frazier and a second by Commissioner Dye. All who are in favor of that, press yes.
Harry King, yes.
We don't even have to call them. Okay. Okay, we're gonna call out,
He's sick.
Terry's
He's
vote
sick.
because he doesn't have a tablet tonight. So we'll have to announce his vote.
Oh.
Okay, so that means all members have voted aye. Yeah.
Anyone wish to change your vote? If it was sick, just motion carries.
Next, number 7, report of the public utilities. Need a motion and a second. Motion by Commissioner Patton, seconded by Commissioner Hicks. All in favor of this vote, please?
Gary King, yes. Angie?
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Anyone wish to change their vote? Motion carries.
Number 9, resolution making appropriations for the various funds, departments, institutions, offices, and agencies of Benton County, Tennessee for the year beginning July 1, 2021 and ending June 30, 2022.
You skipped the TriStar, Chair.
Oh, I did, I'm sorry. I'm trying to move along fast, y'all. Yeah. Approval of the 3-star fiscal strength confirmation letter. Have a motion by Commissioner Melton and a second by Commissioner Ferguson. Any questions? Okay. No questions? Can we vote?
Madam Chairman.
Yes.
There's,
Gary King.
oh, never mind, I'm in the wrong place, sorry. Wrong one.
Van Ellen? Anyone wish to change their vote? Motion carries.
Okay, now we are at the resolution making appropriations for the various funds, departments, institutions, offices, and agencies of Benton County, Tennessee for the year beginning July 1, 2021 and ending June 30, 2022. Okay, we have motion by Commissioner Melton and second by Commissioner Ferguson. So the floor is open for discussion. Questions?
Madam Chairman, I do have a question.
Okay.
On line item 55710 and 5520 on sanitation management and sanitation sanitation education information, what exactly is that?
Little grant.
One is their grant, that's your 55,720, for $47,314. That's a TDOT litter grant, reimbursable grant. Then your 55,710 sanitation management, that's your waste tire.
Thank you.
Commissioner Preston.
Thank you, Chairman. Mayor, we're going to disagree right here. I hope if you're home at Christmas, you'll still invite me to the Christmas party. You have a real nice one. The sheriff's request for this budget we're about to vote on is not unreasonable and it's not undoable. What he is asking us for makes perfect sense in light of his defense to hire and retain qualified law enforcement and jail staff. The sheriff has stated to us clearly that his main obstacle in hiring the caliber of employees needed and to retain is that the wages that he is currently offered is completely non-competitive with the surrounding county. For you commissioners that don't agree with this statement that I've just made, based on conversations, communications with former staffs of the jail and the sheriff, your decision is to blame the sheriff. Your decision is to believe the sheriff is not a good leader, not a good department chief to work for. You commissioners, I ask you to reconsider. I'm tired of this commission taking the blame for the current state of hiring at both the sheriff's office and the jail. Let's give the sheriff the money for salary increases so that we may no longer bear the brunt of the responsibilities of the sheriff's failing to hire and retain staff. We are the sheriff's whipping post, and I want us to take his weapon post away. I ask you, law enforcement committee members, I ask commissioners, join me in the no vote for this budget. Let's send budget back into session with a clear understanding of what we are asking for in order to pass the budget. And I remind everybody, it only takes 7 votes tonight to defeat this budget. I understand that some of you commissioners are anxious to be the first county government to pass a budget. I know that some of you commissioners would love for our county to be the first. Some of us are racing the clock. For what? A pat on the back? More important than being first is for us to utilize full diligence in solving this crisis that's in front of us. The $3,100,000 given to Benton County from the American Rescue Plan that we're going to be talking about later tonight in response to the COVID-19 emergency was never addressed in any budget discussions to remedy the sheriff's requests, problems, troubles, whatever we want to call it. In clear, concise language, the American Rescue Plan specifies funding can be utilized to provide pay for essential workers. I ask, what are we standing for? We have a choice tonight. We can hide our heads in the sand and hope that this problem fixes itself. Or we can roll up our sleeves and we can do the work for Benton County. I ask y'all, let's not leave this county less protected. A concern of mine, and I'm about to yield the floor, Chairman, a great concern of mine, should a great show of condemnation from the citizens here, should a catastrophic event occur in this county because of our lack of commitment of resources. I hope and ask, let's be on the right side of history. I yield the floor, Chairman.
Anyone else like to make any statements?
Madam Chairman, I spent Saturday in the budget all day just about, and I did line for line. And there was a pattern that emerged from that budget, me looking at it, is that some departments asked for this and got more. And then when you get to the sheriff's budget, the drug budget, all of that, it was just cut. You know, and I don't know what the reason for that is, but nobody else in this budget was cut as much as the sheriff was. That's all I got to say.
Can I make one more statement before we vote?
Yes.
Please, Lori, and thank you for the work that you've done. And if I make a wrong statement concerning this budget right now, please correct me. I've got the budget that was in everybody's package. I'm going to turn to page 59. Account 40000. I drop down to line item 40162. If everybody will look just to the right, you'll look under audit 2020, you'll see that $200,000 is what the Tennessee State Comptrollers audited in that line item for the schools. That is TVA in lieu of taxes. That money is not showing up to the far right under Commissioner's approval. It's all zero, it's blank. It's because that $200,000 has been moved. $100,000 was moved from the school back to the general fund. I'm going to ask you to look one more place.
What number was that?
Ask you that again.
What number was that on 59?
59, you'll drop down to the fifth line, so line item 40162. You'll see $200,000 was audited by the state comptroller. That's $200,000 that TVA paid Benton County. That was determined sometime years ago to go to the school. All right, Chairman, give me just a second. Here's what I'm looking for. Page 20. I'm going to take everybody to page 20. Page 20 is showing a transfer in. This transfer in, page 20, it's line item 49800. You'll see that the audit number was $498,000 in 2020. If you go all the way over to the right, you'll see Commissioner's approval, $480,000. This reflects to me, Lori's going to correct me if I'm wrong, but $200,000 that was moved from the school and put back in the general fund is not reflected right here. If it was reflected right here, that number would show $680,000. Am I correct, Lori?
You're going to have to tell me what line you're talking about again?
And maybe.
Oh, no, it's not in transfers in. That's not where it would be. You're not transferring the funds, you're reallocating the funds.
Yes, we moved it from the school back to the general fund, and isn't that where it would be reflected?
No, sir. No, sir. It will be reflected in the original revenue line, which if you will look at, let me find that.
And we're talking about the.
TVA, we're talking about in lieu of?
Not TVA, we're talking.
Okay.
I made a mistake, I'm getting a. Lori, I think.
What was the line for the schools? Okay, all right. Yeah, it wouldn't be in the transfer in line. It's going to be in, find where it used to be in the schools, so I can find it in general. It's going to be in the same line number that it would have been in school. If you said that the schools was on page 59?
Yes.
Okay.
I think the mistake I made, I was getting the Benton County Electric Company
Okay.
in lieu of taxes mixed up with TVA.
40162. So let me go to page 40162. It's going to be if you will look on your budget there at page, let me get my pages to scroll, page 14. The top bracket section, which is county property taxes, the second line from the bottom, 40162. It's not a transfer in, it's just a reallocation.
I'm going to apologize for taking the time on that. Thank you for, I stand corrected.
Any other questions? Would the chairman of the budget like to make any comments on this tonight?
I'm gonna make it be on the ARPA money. That's a one-time shot of money. If you take money from that and place it into salaries, you're gonna have to continue to fund that somehow. And your only option would probably be property tax increase. And I'm not sure, well, Ms. Brasher shall approve $200,000 win. But one-time money should never be used for recurring expenses if you can absolutely stay away from it.
May I answer a question that was also brought up?
Yes.
There was a question brought up, we're not actually a question, but a statement about the sheriff's department or jail. I wasn't sure which department we were talking about being cut. And what I did is I just did a calculation real briefly on just salaries. I'm not talking about any other lines. I'm talking about just salaries. In the sheriff's department, 54110, it's a total increase of $103,000 in salaries. For the jail, it's a total increase of $8,027 in salaries. So there are differences in the totals, but I'm sure that Mr. Field can answer that. I know one of the things that was moved that would show that the sheriff's department is going down is that repairs on vehicles was moved into a different department. that would show a decrease from year to year. I don't remember what else there was, Mr. Bill.
Yeah, we moved, that line to move money out of the maintenance and repair for vehicles were wrecked. We set up an account separate from that to keep that money separated from that, so it didn't look like that the money was going back into his budget, which, that's not the place it should be. So yeah, that would reflect as a decrease in that area, but it's actually not being decreased. That's insurance payments coming back in for, damaged vehicles.
Okay, does it show anybody else have any questions, anything? Our pro tem has left, but I'd like to say one thing that's okay, so I can't step down. But I'd like to say that I do support the sheriff's department, and I would like to see us help him. I don't know that it can be fixed tonight, other than to vote down the budget. I think we can, after this, we can get together. I think it would be a good idea to form the committee that Mr. Bass talked about, the Cooperative Correctional Partnership Committee, and then get to work, and maybe we can help the sheriff's department after this. I just wanted to say that before I voted. So anybody else? If not, it doesn't show anyone else wants to say anything, so we'll have a roll call vote, please.
Carrie King, no. Anyone wish to change their vote? No, 10 yes, 7 no, and 1 absent.
Two-thirds, I mean, just simple majority.
No,
It's gotta have 2/3.
majority of 2/3. It failed.
It failed.
7 makes it fail.
Right.
Okay. Who did? Okay.
This says it passed, but it did not, the wrong, with the 2/3, the way it's set up in the computer was put in wrong. And me and Roseanne will get together to fix that from where it was put in. No mistake that it did fail.
That's it. There's no reason to go on to the next two resolutions.
Yeah, once resolutions are tied to this, we need to see which ones are, we need to.
We don't need to do the next two then?
I was gonna ask.
Yes, you can.
Correct, you can't pass the other one without
Okay.
She just answered.
Yeah. Okay, so, yes,
Would you entertain if we fixed it real quick and then re-voted it? Would you entertain that, just to fix the computer, or do you want that one?
no, I don't think we should.
No problem. Fix it.
It's done.
Okay, well, then we're gonna move on to number 12 on the agenda. Is a resolution to appoint Kenny McCartney to the Benton County Civil Service Board effective immediately for a term set to expire July 20, 2023. Need a motion and a second.
Hold on, I'm trying to find it.
Are we ready? Okay. Now, we need to vote on Mr. McCartney.
Madam Chair, you have a speaker request.
Okay, I'm sorry. Commissioner Hill.
Is Mr. McCartney present tonight? I guess not. I thought maybe some commissioners would like to ask him some questions or something.
Okay. Since he's not here, of course, it says voice vote, but we're going to vote on our tablets tonight, so take a vote, please.
You gotta speak up a little bit.
Okay, I'm sorry. We're ready to vote on Mr. McCartney. That's resolution number 4.
Resolution number 4.
Yes, and it is number 12 on the agenda.
Chair, we have a citizen
Yeah,
standing.
I saw him. Okay, Marty has asked to say
I
something.
really had some questions for Mr. McCartney, but I guess it's more of a statement now. It's my understanding that he was a previous employee of the sheriff's department and didn't leave on good terms. Of course, I understand we all have a past, but I think there was, my understanding was an investigation on him as well. I personally don't think he was a fit.
Okay, thank you.
I'll say that, Mr. McCartney, that's one of those recommendations that I make to the legislative body. It's a privilege of mine to bring his nomination to the board. Again, he's a veteran. He may have a past history with the sheriff's department, but the Civil Service Board isn't there to enable the sheriff's department either, so they're there to be a non-objective or whatever. And I think the same could have been said about you when you were appointed, having an adversarial maybe approach there. But I think sometimes you build your biggest supporters by immersing them into their role, And he approached me to be appointed. I thought this would be a perfect opportunity to put him on that board. But like I said, if you're the chairman, if you're uncomfortable with this person being appointed, I have no problem pulling this motion if you feel it would be to the benefit of the Civil Service Board overall.
Let it be known that it's nothing personal against him. I don't know. If you walked in right here, I don't know him, I've never met him. I just know that what I have, a little bit of research that I did, there's the background there. We don't need somebody, and I say we, because Mr. Tubbs told me 100%, because we discussed it. We don't need somebody on the board that could already have an axe to grind with the sheriff's department. We need somebody that's going to be fair across the board. And I feel like there's really not any way that he can't already have an opinion.
But you're making an assumption here. You're totally assuming without any basis.
And it also means something to me that, I think he should be here if he's going to be appointed to the board. I certainly was. I was here to answer questions. And answering to every question that you give them.
Well, if it will please you, I'll go ahead and pull that resolution. Okay, all right. I'll go ahead and vote. Just vote it down.
We've already voted. Okay, one, you want to ask if they want to change their vote?
Anyone? Carrie, Key, no. Anyone wishing to change their vote? 3 yes, 14 no, and 1 absent. Okay,
Thank you. Number 13 on the agenda is resolution to appoint Tim Ty to the Benton County Tennessee River Resort District Board effective immediately for a 3-year term set to expire July 1, 2024. T, I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce it right, Tim
Ty.
T.
T. Ty.
So,
Is he here? Is he here?
Mr. Ty, are you here tonight?
He's not here.
Okay. Then, if there's no questions or discussion, let's take a vote on that one.
get anything with caffeine in it?
Drop it. Drop it.
Gary King, no. Gary Carter. Anyone wishes to change your vote? Motion failed, 6 yes, 11 no, 1 absent.
I just want to say, you know, appointment to the TRD board is the mayor's privilege. And I think we've probably appointed numerous people that didn't show up in person. Okay? So we have a vacancy on the board that I was filling. I can't believe that y'all voted that down. Y'all don't know him. It's my privilege to be able to vet the candidates and put them on the boards. But y'all are obviously in a no mood, so let's keep it going. Keep rolling.
Number 14 on the agenda, resolution stating that the full legislative body supports and commits to designating funds received from the American Rescue Plan Act in the amount of $500,000 as a contribution to the city of Big Sandy to be paid out in the fiscal year 2022 or when the funding is made available in order to go towards a sewer upgrade for the north end of Benton County. We have a motion by Commissioner Patton and a second by Commissioner Dye. Right.
Take your tablet.
Is it corrected now? Okay. We have Commissioner Hill, you're recognized.
Yes, I do plan to vote for these because I believe the different communities and our volunteer fire departments need to know that we are behind them. But I just want to reiterate what we've already been hearing from both the mayor and others, that these are non-binding commitments. We still don't know the scopes, the restrictions. All of these projects should be under that. And I think voting on them to show our support is a good thing. But this, you know, we may have limitations, we may not get as much money as we think, and that could alter the amount that, you know, at the end of things, we have been able to contribute.
Commissioner Hopper.
I was this $500,000, that is money that is not in our hands right now, right? Okay.
We're going to receive $3.2 million overall from the federal government. That will come. That is not going to be cut, pulled, or anything like that. The Benton County will receive $3.2 million of ARPA funds.
Commissioner Ferguson.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll come to you next, Commissioner
Okay, we
Ferguson.
say that we are committing the funds, so.
You don't commit until you appropriate it.
Commit them. So, but my personal feelings, and this is just mine with the meetings that I've sat in, and every one of these, the three that we're doing, I think are absolutely needy. I'm just not ready to say, put it down on paper yet, until we actually get the funds and we know for certain that it can change, and we all know it can change. And that will come out of our pocket, not what we get from them. So, just my personal opinion.
If you don't mind me asking, did you vote in favor of the maintenance of effort resolution for the schools 2 months ago? This is the exact same process. So it was good then, but it's not good now. I guess that's what you're saying.
Didn't sit in on their meetings, sat in on this one.
I would like to say something. Our pro tem is gone, so how do we handle that? I go. First of all, I'm not done that. I agree that this is good money, and I agree that we need to give it to the north end and the south end and the rescue and the fire departments. I agree in that. I have been to 2 of these meetings, one in Gatlinburg that I sat there for 2-3 hours, and I listened to the comptroller. I attended the second meeting at Jackson State, again, and I met in the comptroller's office there. Their first remark was, do not spend this money too fast. That was the first remark. They said, take time, research, find out where you're going to spend this money for its best needed. Okay, this is best needed. But they also say, guidelines are still changing. You do not have this money in your pocket yet. It said, they say, think through this. Do not spend it all at one time. Okay, we're already committing to half of our money gone. The preliminary guidelines are not final yet. We have 2.5 years to spend this money on. So, you know, jumping in there like right now, and we haven't even got the money. In big words, it said word of caution. No expenditures should be made before we are certain of the use of that all funds will comply. I do feel like the sewer and the water is going to comply. I do. I think they made that very clear. But that was one of their statements. Any misuse of this money, we're going to have to pay back. And if it will not come from the money we get, it will be paid back out of the general fund. They suggest be transparent with the public. Let the public know what we're doing. Talk about this. They suggest that we form a committee.
Roseanne, you're out of time.
Okay. Okay. They suggest, I'll be short. They suggest to form a committee. So the committee can consist of commissioners, it could consist of a banker, community leaders. Let our community be involved in this, spending this money, and let them help make the decision. And I really think that a committee would probably say that this money, this is well spent money. I do think that. But just over and over I heard them say, do not spend this money too fast. Think it out. Wait.
Well, then I got a question for you, Lee.
Yeah.
Who would set up that committee if we chose to do that?
I don't know that.
My thinking
Mayor
is,
or the mayor or the chairman.
my thinking is you would, first of all, defer to your chief financial officer, right? Your county mayor. Y'all appropriate, I administrate. But when it comes to this, the comptroller's not told me, the federal government, they haven't told me anything that they didn't tell us from day one. It's black and white. It's in a stack of documents this thick. There's absolutely nothing in here that will not meet the test, you know. And what you get into is, can Big Sandy wait? Okay, so again, you're making a commitment to say when these monies are coming in, we're going to help the south end of the county, we're going to help the north end of the county, we're going to help our firefighters, volunteer fire department, rescue squad. You're making that internal investment, saying when the money's due, that in 3 years, you're probably going to be scrambling to spend the money because you didn't use it in the bona fide times you could have. I'm not worried about the comptroller. Comptroller doesn't worry me one bit. Our audit findings are always one finding a year. We have a solid fiscal policy here in our county. We do the right things with the money. Comptroller doesn't even know. And they keep building doubt within counties. The only message that I got from the same meetings you went to was, hey, if you don't know what you're doing, kind of seek the comptroller's advice. But I kind of believe that we've been prudent with this. We went to Big Sandy, proposed this to them. We went to North Utility District and proposed this to them. Y'all could have attended the same meetings that we did. But again, I'm the chief financial officer. I have proposed to apply the monies in the way that we have. I think it's a no-brainer. But again, nothing surprises me.
Can we not postpone this?
You can. You can.
And see what the guidelines are?
I have a question for Mr. Asher. Mr. If we pass these resolutions, does that mean that we have budgeted this money into the upcoming budget?
It all depends on the wording of how you have worded the resolution. If you state that you are committing this money, then according to government accounting, a commitment is the same thing as a designation and appropriation.
Okay, so
But you have to be actually saying that it's been committed funds. If you say that you are just designating or agree to pursue it upon receipt of the funds, and that's usually what they recommend, is to put the wording as, we agree that we will pursue this or designate these funds upon receipt of the funds.
the resolution says supports and commits to designating the funds.
And so that's kind of, that word right there is kind of a sticky word, because in governmental funds, you have what's called restricted and committed funds, and committed is actually a legal definition. And it means you are assigning that money.
Can we take the word commit out?
Yeah, you could replace that word committed with, I would even recommend designated, because it's also can be a technical.
Yeah, I have another question. With that. Since we do not have a budget, we really don't need amendments to place this money. We can just simply, when we have to go back and redo the budget, and we can place this money in the budget at that time.
Yeah, that is what, that is what they told me. I mean, my contact is Jerry Durham from the comptroller's office. And I specifically asked him about some of your questions because we were working through your budget. And he said, technically, there are two answers. We don't know and don't do anything. And he said, his official answer on some of y'all's questions were, we don't know, we'll do anything. Because it's an interim guidance, and it's just like the mayor said, it's an interim guidance. There are some things that are going to be set in stone. One of them is, they're not going to take out infrastructure expenditures. That's going to be a given. Sewer, water, that kind of thing. Now, they're not going to allow like building a new water plant or something like that. They're talking about extending or improving infrastructure. And my understanding is this is what you're planning on doing with these funds. My recommendation is just replace the word committed with a different word. Yeah, that's.
Word. Take the pen out, maybe.
So postpone it?
You could just take out and
Change the
commit.
wording
Change it.
to make sure that the fire department, everybody.
But you could go ahead and make that promise. I would just recommend replacing the word committed.
Or just take out commits. You could say supports designating funds.
Yeah, supports is a good word. Because you don't get into any technicalities of fund balances there.
And the main concern is we don't get the money, the guidelines say, hey, you can't use it that way. And then we have to explain to the fire department when the rescues go on. Right now, that's the way it reads, then hey, they're getting the money.
Right. Yeah, so support or even pledged, you can even tell them
Pledge,
pledged.
there you go, solid word.
I was looking at the word earmark.
Earmark can be a technical term too in governmental. I would probably be careful about using that.
Thank
It is used a lot in governmental, but it has caused some actual court cases because of the argument about what it meant. But pledge would be a good word.
Do we make a motion to change the word to pledge? Or do we postpone?
That's up to the
It's up
commission.
to you.
Chairman, I'm in favor myself of changing the language to satisfy
I second it.
a majority.
Are you making that in the form of a motion?
Madam Chairman?
Yes.
We have a new motion on the floor by Mr. Shell Hill, if you want to entertain that.
I'm using the computer.
Okay.
I make a motion to make the following amendment to this. The wording, legislative body supports pledging funds received from the American Rescue Act. So it would remove the words after supports and commits to from it. And, remove the words and commits to designating from the paragraph, leaving Legislative body supports pledging funds.
There's another place where he gets it in the
Paragraph above it also.
paragraph above, also has to
Yeah.
be it.
Okay, then remove commits to pledges. Thank you, Phil.
Yeah, that's Rochelle's motion. And we need a second. Second by Commissioner Dunn.
So in the second paragraph, it would be, would like to pledge funds in the amount of. It would remove designate and commit from the paragraph.
On the whole resolution.
Okay, can you do that second one again? I got lost.
Yes, after the second paragraph, whereas district commissioners would like to remove designate and commit and replace it with pledge.
Okay.
Would like to pledge funds in the amount.
Okay, and what did you do on the second one then?
Okay, after full legislative body supports, you would cross out and commits to designated and replace those words with pledging. So the legislative body supports pledging funds received.
Okay.
Okay, does everybody understand that, what she's changing that to? Commissioner,
Did I get a second?
yes.
Yeah.
Commissioner Fowler, did you want to speak? Or is that a while ago? Okay.
As long as it don't, as long as the money comes in the guideline, I think that would be awesome. That's where you
Okay.
don't get to speak.
You're gonna have to stand up,
Madam
Jerry,
Chair.
so I can see you.
I'm for all giving and helping, water, gotta have it, needed, okay? I wanna know details. I wanna know $500,000 gonna replace, this many sewer lines, and we're gonna service this many people, and, those things. That's important to me. And I'm for it, don't get me wrong, nobody's saying Terry's not for it, because I am. It's important. And even the water, how many people's gonna get water? How many miles of water line? I wanna know these things before I vote on and give money. And I know we're not giving money, got it. I'm just stating, I want facts when there's money to be given out in this amount. And I don't want somebody to just tell me what they're gonna do. I wanna see it right. That's all I got to say.
Commissioner Preston, did you want to say something?
No.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. We're going to take a vote on the amendment.
Carrie King, yes. Anyone wish to change their vote? Motion carries, 17 yes.
Okay, now we're going to vote on this resolution as amended.
I do have a question.
Okay, Commissioner Frazier, real quick.
Hey, Mayor, question. Is this the final say, or does this come up to move the money again later?
The money has to come in and then be budgeted in,
And we get to move it?
Yeah. So you'll have an opportunity to actually commit the funds
To see
when the revenue.
And to request where it's going.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Will it be an appropriation, or will it be a simple?
Well, the revenue comes in, and then you'll have to put it in a budgeted expense item, probably capital projects.
There'll be a budget amendment, Phil.
Yeah.
Not an appropriation, there will be a budget amendment.
Okay, no more questions. We'll take a vote, please.
Vote as amended.
Carrie King, yes. Anyone wish to change their vote? Motion carries, 16 yes, 1 no.
And we move on to the next one, which is basically the same. just a different, place that we're giving the money to. So I would say we probably need to amend the wording on this one, if you choose to do that. We have a motion by Rochelle Hill and a second by Darrell Hicks to bring it to the floor. Floor is open.
Michelle has a motion to amend.
Same motion.
Ditto.
Yes, okay.
I need a second for the motion to amend.
I'll second.
Darrell Hicks is the second. Sorry.
I forgot to turn in my
Okay, so.
Put his name on it, I don't care.
Don't make no difference to me.
We can, don't tell what you have that.
Yes, so take in Georgia, voting to amend.
Okay,
You ready?
yeah, I'm in.
You have a request. There was a request to speak.
Okay.
I'd just like to say, this is the first district. I am now currently a new member of the North Utility District Board. I will be presenting to you what the money will be spent on, what they'll be replacing. They are currently working on how the funds would be spent if they get it. Decatur County is also going to pledge to extend their lines and coverage in Decatur County. But I think we owe it to the citizens of the first district to expand the water there. We have citizens that their wells are drying up, new citizens out in Sugar Tree that don't have running water. They don't have the money to buy wells. This would be a good benefit to not only help the south end of our county, but to give the citizens something they don't have. I think every citizen deserves running, clean water. Period. We're not a third world country. They deserve the same benefits as here in Camden. We deserve running water for our citizens. I'm very passionate about that. I just want you to know that the money will be spent wisely. They'll have a presentation. They'll come and share with you, the property committee, what they plan to do. But you have to know $500,000 doesn't expand huge amounts of miles. You're talking about to run it 1 mile just tonight at that meeting. They said the cost was at least $50,000 to run it, not even a mile. Short distance, and you're not talking about if they have to, and I only have attended one meeting, attended one with him, and I'm currently just assigned to that board. But I want you to know I'm passionate about our citizens here in Benton County and the South End deserve water, clean water. If you had to drink some of their water, and I can bring you water samples if you want to see it, muddy, murky, spent thousands and thousands of dollars trying to fix their water. They have no hope up there pleading, wanting clean water. They deserve it.
Some of them have to bring their laundry to Camden to wash. I know that for a fact.
And I'll just say, I made the comment before, you know, these gifts don't come around too often. You know, most of the time, municipalities or county governments are faced with debt service to be able to provide these things to their citizens, which debt service means a direct impact to your budgets, stress on your tax rate, and so again, this is investing the money in Benton County, you know, while you have an opportunity to do that. So we can all argue how much. Those things are always, you know, debatable. You know, I'm saying 500,000. Someone could say $1 million. Someone could say 200,000. But at the end of the day, this is affordable for us to try to help as many people as we can. Instead of giving all the holiday for water, you know, y'all have been able to say, hey, we'll give some to Big Sandy, we'll give some to Holiday, everybody will benefit from this one-time money. And, because it doesn't come around, often. And we did talk to North Utility District, and they're committed to putting part of their money into this expansion project just as much, you know. So it's a win-win. You know, you can argue what's the cost of not doing it. The cost of not doing it is not having treated water, is you're not going to have families locate in Benton County, you know.
You're sitting here talking about that. I don't think there's anybody in here that believes everybody deserves that money. What we got to look at is, just like the guidelines they've laid out, Chad, you want to make sure that we don't commit to something that will raise your property taxes, and next thing you know, then they can't afford to even try to do it. So everybody's pledged to do that.
I do understand that. I just want to make it clear that water is a basic
It
need.
is. It's a basic thing.
It's a basic need, a basic right.
Nobody's arguing that. Nobody.
And I just wanted to make my point that
Everybody, you know.
Okay, we have an amendment on the floor. Let's, move. Commissioner Frazier, real quick.
Real quick.
Real.
I admire your passion, Angie, on this. Do me one favor. Please don't vote for another raise for the board with the monies, okay? Because they just gave themselves a $300 meeting raise.
no, they don't.
What?
North Utility does not make that.
Okay.
I think
Do
you're.
what now?
Are you talking about the electric board?
I don't think you're talking about North Utility.
Thank you for correcting me. Because
Yeah.
I've sat here and listened to this the whole time, under the impression that they got a raise recently.
No, sir.
Thank you so much.
Madam
I
Chair,
stand
Yes.
corrected.
I would like to ask Angela, are you going to get water out of this?
Am I personally going to get water? I already have water, sir. But if I were to get water, I don't see anything wrong with that either. I'm a citizen just like every other citizen.
I understand that, but you have a conflict of interest if you work. Because you're voting for money to do something that you're going to benefit from. I'm not arguing you don't need water. I'm not saying that. I'm just making a statement.
Well, she's a commissioner of the first district, and,
I speak for the first
it's not
district.
a question of, her gaining something. She's working for the people of the first district.
I understand that, sir. Sure do. Thank you.
Commissioner Furr.
Question for you, Angie.
Yes, sir.
And I was on that committee at one time up there. Your nice struggle. But, Decatur County has committed herself to give a portion of money to it.
The commission was there tonight, and she's gonna work hard to get part of their ARPA money committed. As you know, there's a hotel, motel coming into the interstate area up there.
And my answer is to that, they need the water up there. You know, people's toting water, carrying it in 5-gallon buckets, you do the math. I'm serious, and have been for 20 years. But who is, I guess my question of who decides, is Decatur County gonna get more water lines run, or Benton County? I mean, how's that gonna be
Well,
determined?
they haven't determined everything, but of course, they haven't got any, they won't even consider anything until they have something to work with. They don't want to count chickens before the hatches. They're a small district, they're in good financial standing, but basically, she's going to go on behalf to Parsons, Decatur County, to talk about needing funds for, and theirs will be used strictly for Parsons, as ours will be strictly used for Benton County citizens. And they even talked maybe about getting some kind of grants to help implement that. They're just on the front end stages. I mean, they haven't planned out anything.
Well, it makes the property more valuable.
Right.
Water. If you don't have water, you don't have anything.
And there was a lot of talk tonight that, I'm just newly elected to that board. I don't understand a lot of their talk yet. I'm sure I'll get to know more. They talked about 2-inch pipes and 4-inch pipes, and how that a 2-inch pipe can only
We need to
bring
move
water
on,
for so
okay?
far.
Let's move on. I would like to ask you, when were you appointed to that board?
Last month.
And last month's meeting?
No, it's in Decaturville.
Okay, so Decaturville appointed a Benton County person to the board? Is that how it works?
Yeah.
Yes.
Decatur County gets 2 appointments, Benton County gets 1.
Okay.
which we're trying to
Well,
change that.
and I just asked that because I didn't remember appointing you last month.
No, it was from Decatur County side.
Okay, let's move on. We have an amendment. And I think, I like to say, I think everybody here is for this. We just wanted to take the right approach to do this. And I think amending it is what we needed. So, okay, let's vote on the amendment.
Madam Chair, will you
Yes.
clear out your?
Yes.
What's the amendment?
The wording.
The word,
We're voting on the amendment, aren't we?
yes. Same amendment as we did the last time.
Terry King, yes. Ronnie Hawker. Anyone wish to change their vote? Motion carries 17 yes.
Okay, now we're going to go back and we're going to vote on this resolution as it was amended. Changing the wording.
Shoot, no, didn't mean to. Ignore that.
We're gonna have some issues there.
I was waiting for yes to pop up. We get excited. I did. That's what I did.
Right. Anybody, any other discussion? I don't think so. Yes.
There we go.
Got something to vote for, yeah.
We're just doing it to mess with.
Anyone wish to change their vote? Terry King, yes. Motion carries 17 yes, 0 no.
Number 15 on the agenda. Resolution stating that the full legislative body supports and commits to designating funds received from the American Rescue Plan Act in the amount of $500,000 as a contribution. We just did that one, didn't we? Let's move on to number 16. Resolution stating that the full legislative body supports and commits to designating funds received from the American Rescue Plan Act in the amount of $600,000 as a contribution to all 7 Benton County Volunteer Fire Departments and the Benton County Rescue Squad in the amount of $75,000 each to be paid out of the fiscal year 2022 when funding becomes available. We have a motion by Commissioner Patton and a second by Commissioner Dye.
You need to amend it.
Amended?
Yes.
Okay, Rochelle has a motion to amend again.
Okay, all 3 paragraphs after the first introduction. In the second paragraph, support of the full legislative body in, you would cross out the commitment to designate and replace it with the word pledging. So support of the full legislative body in pledging funds in the amount of $600,000. In the next paragraph, just strike the word commit. The mayor would like to commit to give and replace commit with pledge. And in the last paragraph, the full legislative body supports and you would strike commits to designating and replace that with pledges. So the full legislative body supports and pledges funds received.
Any questions about the amendment? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Miller?
Wake up, Mr. Gordon.
Anyone wish to change their vote? Terry King voted yes.
And that was on the amendment. Now we're going to vote on the resolution as it was amended. Commissioner Nunn, would you like to say?
Yes, on the doing this for the fire departments, and I'm certainly for doing for the fire departments. But is this something that we're pretty confident is gonna be acceptable from the state?
It falls under public safety. And public safety, just like the infrastructure part, is going to be a written in stone element of the ARPA Act.
Commissioner Ferguson?
Sorry. I was, at the meeting I was in, they specifically said that fire trucks, they wouldn't recommend at this time until the final ruling was done, the final guidance was done. Someone had specifically asked about fire trucks and that. So I don't know what the 75,000 is going to be. It might not be fire trucks, but they just said, someone asked, what about a fire truck? And they said, no, not in the final rule. They would, the comptroller's office wouldn't recommend it. But I don't know if the 75,000 is going to fire truck, it may be going to protective equipment or something like that. I don't know.
When we give it to the fire departments, can they use it as employees or is it designated?
That should be designated.
That's one of the things the ARPA is going to require, is that whoever you give the money to is bound by the same regulations as the county is. It's called a subrecipient grant, and they have to follow the same regulations as if the county is spending it itself.
Any, did you want to say something else?
Yeah,
Commissioner
I'm not
Ferguson.
liking this at all to say we're gonna do this. I would like, my recommendation would be to, wait and do it next month or the month after till we have stuff set in stone. You know, this is a lot of money to say we're going to pledge it for. I say let's, wait. Yeah,
Are you making that in the form of a motion
Yeah,
to postpone?
postpone it,
That is your motion?
yes.
Will you press new motion on your tablet?
Like, press speak.
There we go. I need a second for that motion.
We have a second to postpone, first to postpone, do we have a second?
I'm a little confused.
Okay.
Sorry.
We have amended the resolution like we did the others. Now we have a motion on the floor to postpone this to maybe next month because of not being for sure what this, if they can use this for fire trucks or what they can use this for.
So kind of wait and see what CTAS.
There's other grants for fire apparatuses and stuff like that would be conflicting on something like this, but my research shows support equipment is a big thing for some of these type of things.
Okay.
But it is a pledge, it's not a commitment.
Point of order, Chairman, motion's dead, it don't even have a second.
I was fixing to say that, Mr. Preston.
I second.
But thank you. Oh, I meant to say there's a second. Okay, we have a motion to postpone this until next month.
Hey, can I take my second back? I don't like to give my second.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you.
Okay.
So now, this fails because of lack of a second.
No problem.
And now let's move on to the vote. On the resolution as amended.
That's why that IT guy makes so much money.
So what are we doing now?
We're voting on the disability.
Hey, come on, shut up.
Just like the other.
In the future, you're not allowed to take back a second, that motion has to be withdrawn at that point, you can get back a second, just for procedural issues.
Thank you.
Once it goes on the floor, you can't run it off unless the motion is.
Well, I thought about that, but.
He's a newbie without a computer, so.
Procedure doesn't matter.
13 yes, anybody wish to change their vote? Motion carries, 16 yes and 1 no.
Number 17 on the agenda, resolution to budget funds in the amount of $4,324.16 within the Sheriff's Department budget.
Motion, second. Okay, no.
I have a motion by Commissioner Hicks and a second by Commissioner Frazier. Anyone, any discussion? Okay, roll call, please. I think we can move on pretty fast. Maybe.
Carrie King, yes. Anyone else wish to change their vote? Motion carries 17 yes.
Number 18 on the agenda, resolution to budget funds in the amount of $17,534.60 received from the diabetes grant within Fund 171 Capital Projects. We have a motion by Commissioner Ferguson and a second by Commissioner Hicks. Any discussion? Roll call.
Carrie King, yes. Anyone wish to change your vote? Motion carries 17 yes.
Resolution to budget funds in the amount of $2,540 within the animal shelter budget. I have a motion by Commissioner Hicks and a second by Commissioner Ferguson. Any discussion? If none, roll call, please.
Gary Bird. No. Carrie King, yes. Anyone wish to change your vote? Motion carries 17 yes.
Next, we move on to number 20 on the agenda. Commissioner Ferguson.
Can I make a motion to combine?
Nope.
It's faster just
We have a motion by Commissioner Frazier and a second by Commissioner Melton to bring it to the floor.
I would like to combine 12, 13, 14, and 15.
We have a motion to combine resolution number 12, 13, 14, 15. Yes.
That is there on us. I'm just saying, it is anything on us. We will do as you request, but it's going to take longer for us to fix that than it would be to vote.
Okay, then we'll just go back to vote.
All right.
Can you withdraw that motion?
Yep, I will.
Okay.
I think it go away.
Okay. So, we're on resolution number 12, and we had a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion about it? If not, roll call.
Gary Bird.
Yes.
Carrie King, yes. Anyone wish to change your vote? Motion. Motion carried.
Resolution number 13, which is 21 on the agenda. Resolution to budget funds in the amount of $20,109.14 within the school's budget. We have a motion by Commissioner Frazier and a second by Commissioner Hicks. Any discussion? If none, vote please.
Carrie King, yes. Kenneth Miller, yes. Anyone wish to change their vote? Motion carries 17 yes.
Resolution 14, which is number 22 on your agenda. Resolution to budget funds in the amount of $206,043.77 within the school's budget. A motion by Commissioner Patton and a second by Commissioner Hicks. Any discussion? I don't see any, so roll call please.
Carrie, yes. Lauren Frazier. Angie Hearn abstained.
Will you state for the record your opinion?
Yes. I'm currently working summer camp, so I'm staying for my vote.
Thank you. Anyone wish to change their vote?
Okay, resolution 15. Resolution to budget funds in the amount of $41,547.92 within the school budget. We have a motion by Commissioner Patton and a second by Commissioner Ferguson. Any questions, discussion? Roll call.
Can I go through it quickly for you, Chair?
Thank you. That was pretty fast.
Terry King, yes. Norman Frazier. Terry King, yes. Norman Frazier, no. Anyone wish to change your vote? Motion carries 16 yes, 10 no.
Commissioner 16. Resolution 16. Resolution to transfer funds in the amount of $400 within the Sheriff's Department budget. We have a motion by Commissioner Melton and a second by Commissioner Hicks. Any discussion? Roll call.
Terry King, yes. Anyone wish to change your vote? Motion carries 17 yes. 0 no.
Resolution number 17, resolution to transfer funds in the amount of $400 within the Health Department budget. Motion by Commissioner Hicks and a second by Commissioner Melton. I don't see any discussion, so roll call.
Terry King, yes. Anyone wish to change your vote? Motion carries 17 yes.
Resolution number 18, resolution to transfer funds in the amount of $22,500 within the Sheriff's Department budget. We have a motion by Commissioner Patton and a second by Commissioner Hicks. Is there any discussion or roll call?
Hang on a minute.
Whoa,
we
whoa,
do.
whoa.
What is this money going for?
Remember that lawsuit? Lawsuit settlement result.
You okay? Okay, roll call, please.
Terry King, yes. Anyone wish to change your vote? 17 yes.
Resolution 19, resolution to transfer funds in the amount of $10,656.25 within Fund 178 for the Sheriff's Safety Vest. I have a motion by Commissioner Melton and a second by Commissioner Hicks. Any discussion? Roll call.
Terry King, yes. Anyone wish to change your vote? 17, motion carries.
Resolution number 20. Resolution to transfer funds in the amount of $5,133.81 from the Mental Health Transport Grant into the Sheriff's Department budget. A motion by Commissioner Patton and a second by Commissioner Melton.
Approve the law
Okay.
and budget.
Roll call, please. Vote.
Hold on.
Whoa.
I'm sorry, I was
That's-
slow hitting it.
that's
I
okay.
need to make an amendment, and this is not a typo. The total amount that was put into that grant line item was $11,488. So that needs to be changed. that wasn't a typo. When the person told me over the phone, I just thought I heard 488 or 498, but they said 488. So that amount needs to be changed. Now, they suggested we spend every penny of this grant. So what I did was I ordered the items that were allowable. And when I put this resolution in to spend the rest of it on our direct cost and on our in-service, I based that in-service amount on what money was left. We have more people going than what I listed, but I only listed what I knew funds were available. Now, some of the items we ordered had not come in, and I called the company to find out why the items had not come in and why we had not been invoiced. And it turns out someone didn't even process the order. At that point, I told them to please cancel the order. It's too late in our budget year. So I wanted to increase the amount we were asking for in-service training so that we do spend all the money in the grant. So I hope that makes sense.
So we're just amending 5,133.81 to be what?
Okay, the amount out of other public safety will be the money remaining in the grant after all items have been paid for, which will be $5,516.41.
And then down below for your increasing expenditures, which one are you changing to?
It'll be the first one out of 54,110, 140 salary supplements. Increase that amount to $2,074.21. And that will bring the bottom total to match the top total.
Rochelle, are you making an official motion? You'll need to press your button.
Oh, sorry, that button wasn't there when I raised my hand. Thank you.
I need a second, Chair.
Okay. We have a second by Commissioner Frazier to amend.
Give us just a moment to type that up. All right, Chairman, this is,
You ready? Yes. There's no discussion. We're ready to vote on the amendment.
Terry King, yes. Rochelle Hill, abstain.
With cause.
Anyone wish to change your vote? 16 yes, 1 abstain.
Now we will be voting on the resolution as it was amended. I'm so sorry. It's been a long day. Yes.
Terry King, yes. Rochelle Hill, abstain. Rocky Preston. Rochelle, is your abstain?
Yes, my husband will be attending that class, therefore he's receiving wages, therefore I can't vote on it.
Anyone wish to change your vote? 16 yes, 1 abstain. Motion carries.
Resolution 21. Resolution to appropriate funds in the amount of $15,268.51 from the unassigned fund balance within the county general fund in order to pay outstanding invoices received. We have a motion by Commissioner Patton and a second by Commissioner Melton. Yeah. This would take 2/3 vote. This one will.
10 votes would have to correct. I gotta make sure it's clean, correct.
Okay. We have no discussion, so, please vote.
Terry King, yes. Dwayne.
It throws up on it, then I can vote no.
Vote no.
Yes.
Anyone wish to change your vote? Motion carries 16 yes, 1 no.
Resolution 22, a resolution to appropriate funds in the amount of $15,520 from the unassigned fund balance within the county general fund in order to cover the coroner medical examiner billing and outstanding autopsy invoices. We have a motion by Commissioner Patton and a second by Commissioner Ferguson. This is new money, so we'll have to have a 2/3 vote. Any discussion on this? Okay, roll call, please.
Carrie King, yes. Darrell Hicks.
Rose up, I vote yes.
Yes.
Darrell Hicks, yes. Anyone wish to change their vote? Motion carries 17 yes.
Next is appointing of the notaries. We have 10. We have 10 notaries. I'll call them out: Sherry Beasley, Nikki Green, Marlanda Travis, Maureen Perry, Kanona Little, Melinda Florence, Donna Collins, Justin Smothers, Melissa Clendenin, and Dorothy Wiseman. We have a motion by Commissioner Patton and a second by Commissioner Hicks. No discussion, roll call.
Carrie King, yes. Anyone wish to change their vote? 17 yes.
Somebody else wished to change mine.
And now we are down to any other business.
We have those resolutions.
We have some resolutions that was added, so we're going to need to suspend the rules for those. Do we have a motion? By Commissioner Hill and a second by Commissioner Patton to suspend the rules. Yes.
Ready for suspension of the rules.
Okay, we need to vote to suspend the rules, please.
Mr. Byrd? Yes.
Come on, wake up, everybody.
Anyone wish to change their vote? I keep forgetting myself. 17 yes.
Okay. The resolution number 23 is a resolution to approve an amendment to the private act authorizing Benton County to increase and audit mineral severance tax. We need a motion to bring this to the floor.
Is it gonna come up on our thing, or we gotta do this way?
I think they're working on it. I have a motion by Commissioner Hicks and a second by Commissioner Hall. Do we have any discussions on this resolution? No discussions, roll call.
Sorry. What was that?
Carrie King, yes. Anyone wish to change their vote? Yes.
Okay. The next resolution is to approve an amendment to the private act authorizing Benton County to audit pulpwood severance tax. Need a motion to bring this one to the floor? Yes.
We have papers in that as we come in.
That's okay. We got plenty of time.
Don't say that.
We have all that.
I'll call you in the morning.
Terry King, yes. Rocky Preston. Anyone wish to change their vote? Motion carries 17.
Resolution 25 is the solid waste. Says Benton County Solid Waste has received an unexpected load of waste tires, and the solid waste tire account will have insufficient funds in order to finish the fiscal year. It will be necessary to appropriate funds in the amount of $1,221.64 from the unassigned fund balance of the county general fund in order to cover the expenses of the tire disposal for the remainder of the fiscal year. We have a motion by Commissioner Hicks and a second by Commissioner Patton. Commissioner Froden.
All right, we got an unexpected load of waste tires. Now we're taking tires from other counties that we have to pay for.
Could have been Walmart, but
Illegal dumping out there outside of the fence all the time.
Well, this is.
Was it from out of town or was it?
You don't
Somebody cleaned it up somewhere. Yeah.
all the tires.
Right. It could be in somebody's backyard and they cleaned it up.
We're gonna install cameras out there as well.
Commissioner Hopper, would you like to speak?
We go through this every year, so I think it's time we start doing something about this. This is the third year in a row we've had to do this. So we either gotta start charging these people for dumping those tires, or we gotta do something. We can't just keep shelling out this money every year, you know? And we've talked about this for solid waste department. We don't really have a department yet, so we can't do much, but we've gotta do something about it. It's time to do it.
Any other discussion? This is new money, so it will take a 2/3 vote. Roll call, please.
Mr. Hopper. Gary Card. Ronnie Hopper. Anyone wish to change their vote?
Any other business before we adjourn? We have a motion to adjourn.
Yes, I did.
Use your tablet.
Well, it's done, that's all that matters.
Okay, from the tablet, we have a motion from Commissioner Hall and Commissioner Patton. All in favor to adjourn, vote on your tablet before you close them.
Rocky's staying here. Buying his
Because you did say abstain, you had to say it to us for the record. Why you abstained from the vote?
Do what?
You have to explain to us why you had to abstain. So that it's not a joke, but you have to go to the record.
I knew that, but you never asked me before when I called in, so I just was letting you ask. Okay, and I told you.
You're abstaining for a record.
I didn't. What is it logged down? I'm saying yes, change it. I thought you said I abstained from my other, I was like, I did. I said yes.
I'm gonna ask for what was said.
That's yours.